Hello everyone. I am back again after some time. I haven't made any new audio video session for quite some time. So I thought I should make a new audio video session, and so here I am. And in this video, I will be talking about one of the most complex esoteric teachings, that is Tantra. Now, the reason I picked this topic is it's one of the most misunderstood technique. People have totally forgotten how it is practiced and how it is useful in the modern world. In Buddhist literature, Tantra is one of the very important part of teaching. If it is practiced correctly, it can lead to state of enlightenment very quickly. So why I am discussing Tantra is because I am a practitioner of Sant Mat, and Sant Mat in its essence is like love only. If you can love the Supreme, that is what Sant Mat professes as the ultimate practice you can perform. Now, since Sant Mat is the best thing and the only thing that can teach you, that can take you to the highest Supreme possible, so within this Sant Mat technique come all other techniques of this world. Whatever is, other things are possible, like Raj Yoga is there, then other form of yoga are there, and similarly, Tantra is also within the realm of Sant Mat only. When I say within the realm of Sant Mat, it means though not many Sant Mat teachers, past teachers have tried to explain the Tantra, and it has remained as an independent topic of study or practice, and its linkage with Sant Mat is not very obvious, and it's very difficult to even understand Tantra. I was looking at the Wikipedia pages of Tantra, Buddhist Tantra, and it's so complex and so expensive that it become difficult to really make an idea of what and how this Tantra really worked or really works in the present times. So, first thing is that I am a Sant Mat practitioner. So usually it is understood that Sant Mat practitioner will be performing Surt Shabd Yoga and performing the practice of sound and light. So it may or may not be true that you have to perform the practice of sound and light. Yes, the most simple and direct path is like meditating on the sound, and that sound takes you to the Supreme. But because Sant Mat is like a very big mother of all the other practices, it's not really needed to be using sound and light to be the part of Sant Mat only, to be used for great liberation or great union with the Supreme. Instead of using light and sound, you can use other methods, and Tantra is one of them. So I have already explained about how Sant Mat is related to love, truth, and all other forms of teachings given by past Sant of India like Kabir Swamiji, and their teachings are already there in books and in literature, Sant Mat literature. Basically, they talk in the term of planes of existence. One has to move through lower plane to the higher plane step by step, and a master helps in that. So that is its own self-existing independent way to the Supreme. But what I will be discussing here will be about Tantra, and it's a very vast topic. It can't be covered in a single session, because one thing leads to the other, and all the way it is so complex. It becomes so complex to comprehend for a human mind. But still, I thought I will give it a try and see how much, because when a person speaks, he understands himself also. It's not like that. One is information is already in the mind and we are imparting it. While talking about something, also give the positive feedback to the mind, and I will also be able to understand how exactly this Buddhist tantra worked. So let's start with what is tantra. So it's such a misunderstood term. Everybody has different meaning for tantra, and but the real thing, real gist, I don't know how many people will be there on earth who really know what is tantra. So I have made certain notes for myself uh, to talk about. So I will be taking topics from there and try to explain what is whole thing is there. So in simple terms, tantra means what? It's the interconnected system of events or objects. That's all. Tantra means that only. Interconnected system of events or objects. Now, this creation is either some events or some self existing objects. I'm talking about materialistic realm here. Either some events are happening or some objects are, under those events. So now each event and each object is linked to the every other event and every other objects. So it's a very mesh of things, mesh of all the objects, all the events. Now, a change in a one event or object can affect a very distant event or object at other place. How far that can event or place can be? The true tantra is saying that whole creation, whatever is created, tantra can affect it. So tantra can affect, not only this planet. If you are using tantra in a proper way and you have really understood how it works, it can even affect things which are not in the human knowledge consciousness right now. Maybe other planet beings, or not only of this universe or this created universe. Some, as I have written in other notes also in my uh, previous writings, there are things of first order and there are things of second order. Tantra can take you to the second order system also. It all, because whatever event exists or whatever object exists, it is already part of tantra. So it gives a channel through which you can reach distant things and distant events happening at the distant places. And tantra is a beautiful system. So tantra is pervasive over all the creation. It's not limited to your own understanding. So it's like how much I want to expand my tantra, I can keep it within few events or objects around me, and I can keep on expanding it towards the higher higher things. So I have a local tantra also, where I am invoking local gods only and nothing more than that. Then there is tantra which will invoke all the supreme also. Although supreme is beyond tantra, but whatever exists below supreme, everything can also be invoked by tantra. So tantra is a variable thing. It's not a fixed thing like you invoke the tantra and you invoke the local gods, then you can also invoke the higher gods, and then up to the highest point you can use. So because it is an interconnected system, it gives a ways for you to to go from one point to the other point. So that is about what is tantra is. Now the question comes, how to practice tantra. So, and if tantra can be practiced, what are the important aspects of tantra? One of the main things in tantra is to connect with the being of other place or event or object. So when you invoke that energy, so that thing manifests in front of you. That is what exactly tantra is. You want to manifest a particular god, you need to have some understanding, how can I do that. So there are some techniques by which you can use, you can do that. And like alcohol consumption is one of the thing that is used in tantra. And why it is required, it opens the channels, the parallel channels in your mind to connect to the higher beings, higher gods or local gods, whoever you want to convert. Now, sex is also very important part of tantra. There are things like very misunderstood things like tantric sex and all those things. What is sex ultimately? If you really think about it, it's the union of male and female. So there are two aspects of male energy and female energy, because tantra is interconnected system of everything. And tantra itself can be divided into two parts. One is male part, one is female part. Now, if you are exploring only the male part of the tantra, you are not having control over the whole thing. You don't have you can't influence the thing which are lying on the female part of the tantra. So this union of two tantras is through sexual intercourse, and that is the only reason sex is important in tantra. It gives the wholeness, perfection, completion. So without sex, the tantra isn't complete, it is incomplete. So that's why sex is a very important part of the thing. Now the problem with tantra is like it can't be understood with mind. You can keep on reading books, you can keep on trying to understand it. It will not allow you to be understood itself. So tantra is like a live energy. The more you will try to understand it, the more you will be becoming confused, and ultimately you will give up. Tantra can be practiced only. So it can't be understood through books and through these things. Even masters of tantra also emphasized on the practice of tantra, not about reading about the tantra or understanding about tantra. So this is the basic thing. Again, I will emphasize that what is tantra. Tantra is the invoking of the beings or gods anywhere in the creation. Because how can I invoke? Because it is interconnected through systems and through interconnected system of events and objects. So I hope I am clear to some extent what I really mean with tantra here. So that is the thing. So I will talk about some particular form of tantra, Buddhist tantra. I don't know how they pronounce it, but it is Dzogchen. Dzogchen, is very. I have got some information about this from Wikipedia. It's very complex, and but anyway, I have tried to put things in the perspective how really this particular form of tantra is realized and how it is really practiced. So the information I am going to give here is like I have collected it from Wikipedia, which I believe is the authentic source of information. I don't have inclination or time or energy to go through the Buddhist texts, because that will become specialization in tantra. That's not my aim, to specialize in tantra. I just want, I just used it as a tool to really go beyond mind and connect with the Supreme. So this Dzogchen Tantra, that is very prime form of Tantra in Buddhist circles. So what is Dzogchen? Uh, it's great perfection or great completion. That's what one this Wikipedia page says. Great perfection. In Sant Mat also we look for perfection only. We say our master is perfect or the whole universe is perfect. The same thing, extends here. Great perfection. So it's giving the, indication that Dzogchen is also as much capable of providing the spiritual knowledge, spiritual liberation as the other, Sant Mat is. So what we exactly mean by great perfection? Thing is that whenever we go through the spiritual journey, we encounter a problem, and when we encounter a problem, we are given a solution through one way or the other. So that is what is meant by great perfection. If a problem exists, its solution also exists. And if the spiritual practice gives you methods to go to the solution also where the problem lies, that means the whole thing is perfect, whole thing is complete. That's what really Dzogchen means. It's a very various kind of practices in Dzogchen. One leads to the other, and but thing is that if you are stuck somewhere in this particular form of tantra, there will be way out because it is a perfect system, and perfect system will always give you a way out. I hope you are clear to some extent what I want to say here. And this Dzogchen is very much prevalent in Indo-Tibetan Buddhism. They practiced it extensively, and as they say, like it's aimed at discovering the ultimate ground of existence. You have the basic question of existence. What is the existence? The basic question, the fundamental question. So those type of questions can be attempted. Answer to those questions can be attempted using Dzogchen, and so ultimate aim of that is also very not a lower aim. Dzogchen also aims at very high, as much as Sant Mat really aims to get. Dzogchen also attempts at that. But it fails one step before Sant Mat. We will be talking about that, why it remains one step below Sant Mat. Otherwise it is the one of the best thing out there. So there are two terms in Dzogchen, Rigpa and Ma Rigpa. Rigpa means knowledge and Ma Rigpa means delusion. So these are the two opposite ends. At one end we have a knowledge and other end we have a delusion. So that leads to the completeness. I hope you get the idea why Dzogchen is called great completion. On one side we have a knowledge, on the other side we have delusion, and in between lies all the things. So it's a complete thing. Now there are three series of Dzogchen. They are saying that there are three series of Dzogchen: mind series, space series, and instruction series. The words they have used is Sam Day for mind series, Long Day for space series, and Menang Day for instruction series. My pronunciation may not be the correct, but anyway. So there are three series: mind series, space series, and instruction series. Out of these, instruction series is the most potent way of practicing Tantra. Instruction series itself leads to 17 different Tantras. There are 17 different type of Tantras in instruction series. I will talk about mind series and space series later on. But first let's say instruction, we will talk about instruction series. What exactly is the instruction series. When we say series, what is meant by the series of the Dzogchen? The series means how you present and introduce the state of Dzogchen. Now, state of Dzogchen is perfection. Now, how do you really present it? Present to whom? Present to the self. How do you really present to yourself, to your own self, the state of perfection? Okay, so it gives lead to the thing that there can be three ways of presenting that to self, the perfection. One is mind series, other is space series, and the instruction series. And within instruction series, there are 17 form of tantras. So I will be talking about that. Another key concept in Dzogchen is like base or ground. So it's the thing over which tantra will operate. It is the basic state over which the tantra will operate. So that's what Dzogchen is not all about. It's just the beginning of Dzogchen, what exactly it is. So I will be talking about because it's already getting very long video. So I will be talking about instruction series. I will be giving the links to the Wikipedia pages from where I have taken this information, and you can study it and you have an idea of it, what it is. So instruction series, Menang Day. It's what in Buddhist language it's being, I don't know how they pronounce it, but in English it is written as instruction series. So within instruction series, now series is what presenting the perfection to yourself. So how will you present in the instruction series? They have given the 17 tantras to really do that. So 17 tantras, what are those 17 tantras? It is the 17 tantras is the collection of those tantras which form the part of Nyingma school of Tibetan Buddhism. So it's another branch of Tibetan Buddhism. So it's very esoteric instruction series, very hard to understand, very difficult to comprehend until and unless you perform that particular kind of tantra. So there are 17 type of tantras. I will spoke about four of them here. Rest of them we can cover later on. What are those tantras? The first one is reverberation of sound tantra. So reverberation of sound tantra means what? Now here we should not be confused with the sound in the sant mat, sound practice in the sant mat. That is the internal sound. Tantra is external thing, external to your body, to your senses. So as this is the reverberation of sound tantra, what does it mean? So I am going through a market and I have certain thoughts going on in mind. I hear a word, I hear a sound coming from somewhere, and that particular sound invokes certain memories in me, certain awareness in me, a certain awareness in consciousness. That becomes the one part of the tantra. That's what is sound tantra is. It is difficult to give example, but say I'm in a state where I am battling with my own mind, whether I should go there or not, should I go there or not. I'm moving around in the marketplace or in somewhere. So suddenly I hear a word yes. Now that somebody else may be talking about his own his own conversation, but in that conversation this particular sound yes, it get amplified and reaches my ear and complete the loop. Which loop? The loop which I was trying to solve, whether should I go or not. So that becomes the sound tantra, reverberation of sound tantra. So I hope you got the gist, how this particular thing work. Sound invoking awareness in consciousness. Sound can be coming from a mechanical machine. It can be coming from some human speaking, or it can be any sound. Uh, the important thing is that it should invoke the right awareness in your consciousness. Right awareness in your consciousness is what? It is whatever is present in your consciousness. It should relate to the that sound coming, and it should lead to the further way. That means you are already stuck at one place. You are not finding a way to go to the next thing, because everything is interconnected. Tantra is the interconnected thing only. So this particular sound comes and solve the problem for you to go to the next event or object. So that is what meant of reverberation sound tantra. I have given you very basic example. There can be many different type of sounds and many different type of awareness generating because of those sounds. So I will not be talking much about this. It can be easily, not easily, it can be practiced. I really don't know how to really convey, how to really, you get immersed into it. It can't be practiced, you get immersed into the sound tantra. So the second out of 17 tantra, second tantra is great auspicious beauty tantra. So I have taken all this from Wikipedia. So there it is written great auspicious beauty tantra. So what does it mean? Now tantra creates confusion. What I spoke about, we are stuck at one point. It creates the confusion at every point. So, first form of tantra sound gave a way to us to move from that confusion to the next step, to the next object or the next event. So, this form of tantra, great auspicious beauty tantra, it teaches how to establish the nature of awareness and how to identify the basis of confusion and unmistaken wisdom. Now, first one was sound tantra was from going from one point to the other through the sound coming through ears. Here, we have to identify the basis of confusion. So, how will you really do that? Great auspicious beauty tantra. Auspicious means it's something of divine. So, here I come to the think of the mind as a dimension. It is throwing lots of thoughts at you, and some of those thoughts, mostly it is negative thing. Those thoughts are coming from negative thing. What is we call so it is throwing a lot of those negative things, but within those negative things, certain thoughts can prove to be auspicious or divine. The Kal has thrown the weapon of one negative thought at you, but you are practicing the tantra. You took that particular weapon which is thrown at you to use it is in a positive way. So it becomes the beautiful tantra. So in actuality, tantra is what? It is battle. It is the fight between fight between yourself who is practicing and the other one. So when other one is Kal, it may not be, maybe or may not be the Kal, it may be some other entity also. He uses his weapon, but using your own, this tantra, you make it to use it to come out of confusion, and the unmistaken wisdom comes. So that is the second form of tantra. I hope you get it to some extent. What does it mean? So the third tantra in this series is the mirror of the mind of Samantabhadra. Mirror of the mind of Samantabhadra. Now, what is Samantabhadra? The Samantabhadra is always auspicious, all good. Now, there comes the state of mind while you are practicing this thing. All good means wherever you are, throwing your awareness in mind, everything is good. Nothing is, out of the place. Everything perfects very well. Everything, there is no weapon is coming at to you. You can say that you are fully protected and you are all very auspicious. So that is what Samant Badra is. All good. Everything is good. Now, this form of Tantra is mirror of the mind of Samant Badra. So that state of mind is, Samant Badra is there. Yes, it is there. Now you are at certain place where you are all good and all good state of mind is there. But you need to reach some other place in the this network of objects and events. So use the mirror of the mind of Samant Badra. You use the tool of mirror to simply jump with the same state of mind to other place in the in tantric system. So that means mirroring of the existing state of mind which is already perfect or already good. So if you perform this kind of jump from one state of the mind to the other state of the mind directly, so that will be called the third form of tantra, the mirror of the mind of Samant Badra. It's like a jumping from one state of the other state, one state of mind to the other state of mind. While your first state of mind was itself perfect, so you reach the other state of the mind, at other place, that will also be the perfect. So it's also become one of the tool of perfect practicing the tantra. So what does mirroring means? I am mirroring means like if it is good here, it will be good there also. If it is bad here, it will be bad there also. Now here and there, how do you define here and there? Here and there is within tantra. Tantra is interconnected system. So I am sitting at point A. If it is whatever is point A, it can be mirrored into point B using this form of the tantra. I hope you get the point, what I mean to say here. So I have covered three forms of tantra. So there is the blazing lamp tantra, fourth one, blazing lamp tantra. I will be talking about this later on. There are still 13 other forms of tantras. What exactly blazing lamp of tantra means, and believe me, if you can go through all the 17 form of tantras here, you will be in a much control of your own life, and you can really live a peaceful and a kind of life you can only imagine. So because it is getting late, it's already becoming long audio video session. I will be talking about the blazing lamp tantra and other form of tantras later on. I have taken all this information from the Wikipedia and tried to relate this with my own experiences, how it means, what exactly what thing means, and so that's it. I think we will be talking about other things later on. It's already more than half an hour session. Thank you.